Hey guys, Augiesaint here and welcome to the channel. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day, and I want to talk to you guys about infiltration operations, aka dungeons within the first Descendant. Most importantly, the hard mode dungeons, as a lot of people are actually getting to hard mode now, and they did recently add matchmaking to hard mode, so people can actually queue for these and matchmake for them and start doing them. So I'm going to explain to you guys how the point system works and just give you like a general breakdown of everything, as well as this bonus point that was given to me by Schmoozo over on my Twitch at twitch.tv/Augiesaint. You guys should totally drop on by. So shout out to you, Mr. Schmoozo, for actually telling me about this. You come out, you turn left in Albion, and then you go to this thing over here, the Infiltration Operation Terminal. And you can actually access any infiltration on the map without having to go into the world and actually go, load in and then run to the beacon to start it up. I didn't know this. This is going to save me so much time, so you guys are welcome as well. So we can just straight up go to any hard mode mission. Queue for it right there. You can play with the points. You can change anything. So basically just do everything from Albion without having to load into any zone. So you can see these are the hard modes. The normal modes, I won't explain them too much. If you come to this thing, you go to Infiltration Operation Normal, and you will probably run through all of these at least once going through the story, like finishing the campaign. You have to go into each of these, and then a lot of these is where you farm stuff like Sharon. I believe Sharon is from these two, so you get Sharon pieces, and then Blair as well. So you can farm Sharon and Blair is another one over there, and I believe one of them is for Freyna. Some of this Freyna piece of this. So Freyna, Blair, and Sharon can all be gotten from like normal mode dungeons. And Freyna, the rest of her pieces are from like normal mode quests in the same area. So those three Descendants you can get from the normal modes, but we're going to really focus on the hard mode dungeons, well, infiltration operations. So let's take the Asylum, for example. So let's have a look at this menu. There is all the rewards. There's obviously a lot of other rewards that they don't show as a mission reward because they are like attached to the mission monster drop reward. So a lot of the monsters will drop like different types of materials within the missions. Now that unfortunately we can't see in this menu. So if you are looking for something specific like a mission type reward, you have to go to your access info thing on the map screen and go check out what you're trying to find. But we can see that there is this Eugene exclusive mod there. There's another mod and a bunch of other stuff, weapons as well as some reactors. And then these, you don't really need to pay attention to these, just like small little things that the enemies do. So the most important thing you want to look at over here is the rewards in the top right. And you can see the different scores. This dungeon is actually a good example, as you need a score of 90. Well, this is always guaranteed. As long as you complete the dungeon, doesn't matter what your score is, you will get a 100% drop chance on one of these amorphous materials. And these you can actually change. You go up top there, you go change. You can change. There is a different one. You can't actually see what's in it unless you just apply. So it's changed. And now you can see energy activator, Eugene Viesa. We can go change it back. Change it to this one, and there is ultimate Ajax, afterglow, and crystallization. I usually always put it on the second one because I'm usually trying to go after these energy activators as they just do not drop. I mean, since the game came out, I've only gotten one of these blueprints and I have made it, and I need so many more of these. I just don't want to drop. So a little bit unfortunate, but we're going to start spamming a lot of these hard mode dungeons. So hopefully we get lucky with those. So there you select your thingy, and then to get the second one, this is where the score is important. So you can see that if you manage to get 90,000 score, you will 100% get a second one as well. There, if you get 90%, you will 20% chance at getting a shape stabilizer. I made a video on these if you guys don't know what these are, so go check that out. But basically, the quickest way to do these we have found so far is to do them on the 45k mark. But that's actually before we knew about boosting the kill score even further, because the main way to actually get score within these dungeons is not time-based or death-based or anything like that. It is on killing enemies. So as you can see, we have a base kill score of 100%. So if we start applying multipliers, max HP minus 8%, you can see it goes up by 10%. You can select all of these and it will all go up to 150%. Now, there's a little trick to this. You can actually get it even higher than 150%. Obviously, these are going to be the base like modifiers and will always be the same, I believe. Like no matter how many times you open this menu, the first ones over here is always base and will always be at 150%. And also another thing to note is when you do have the modifiers on, you can't actually queue for it as a public, so you can't matchmake. You have to go in with a pre-made group if you want to put the modifiers on. But at least if you do complete it in matchmake, you will still get the guaranteed one up top. And you're more than likely going to get the first score, maybe even a second score, depending on how long you guys stay in there. So you will have a 25 to 50% chance at obtaining a second material. So it's still worth doing these, even if you can't apply the thing. I mean, if you're trying to matchmake them and you can't do them by yourself, it's still worth doing it. You're not going to be missing out on too much. You will at least be able to get it, so it's a guaranteed drop on the first line. But anyway, let's have a look again at these modifiers. So default 150%. What you can do is you can actually reroll. It'll cost you 1,000 gold. Let's go ahead and reroll them right now. You can see weak point damage not applied, fire critical damage not applied, commander movement speed +5, non-melee command attack. So this is actually really good ones. I don't mind these at all because it's not going to affect my bunny at all. I barely ever use my weapon. So let's now go ahead and apply. You can see our kill score has gone up to 190%. The highest I've seen this go is up to about 240%. Oh, there it is right there. As we can see, sprint disabled is actually a really big one. Takes 30%, and I mean, you're gonna have to run through, you're gonna have to walk through the mission. Sprint is disabled, so you can't sprint. You will be walk speed. It's gonna be pretty lengthy and annoying, but you will get a massive modifier there. And as well, the grappling hook also is quite a big modifier. It takes off 30%, as you can see there. It's quite big, but overall it's not terrible. You can get these done without this, just depending on some of these. It's just going to be a little bit annoying, but you will get a massive kill score, so you should be able to get the 90,000 pretty much every single time. Or this also does change per dungeon. It's not always 90,000 or 45. It ranges anywhere from like 30 to 90,000, depends on the dungeon. But every time you open a different dungeon, you'll see. So if you open this one, for example, this one is 46,000 is the higher end. You can go ahead and apply these again. Let's roll for random now, just see what we get. Okay, there's 180%. Now this one might be a little bit better as there's no sprint speed stuff. You could just keep re-rolling as much as you want. That one there, that's 220, and this one is actually perfect for me. I would run this one right now. The skill cooldown thing is going to hurt a little bit, but that's okay. It's not terrible. And the 220% will be really, really big, so you can get to that score much, much faster and easier. And then another thing is, if you don't want those bad ones, so let's say for example you just want to go with the base ones, the 150 score, it's super easy to get to the second one. That's the most efficient way we have been doing dungeons for the most part, is we always go to the second part there. Usually like, one room somewhere in the dungeon. We'll have to wait a little bit and kill mobs, but what you can do is just speed run through the dungeon. Make sure you do kill all the mobs, and then once you get to the end in the boss room, if you don't kill the boss, he'll usually just keep spawning ads. You know, like periodically he will spawn a wave of ads. So just make sure that you remember what score you needed to hit the second line before going into the dungeon. And then you go there, just speed run it through to the end. And then at the boss, you should be a couple, maybe 1,000 or 2,000 points off of, actually achieving the second rank over there. Then just wait in the boss room. They'll spawn in a bunch of ads, kill the ads. And then once you see you've reached the score, go ahead, kill the boss and complete the dungeon, and you can pretty much easily always guarantee that you will hit this point at least. So if you are trying to go for the second line, the 100% on the second one, you're definitely gonna have to put on some different modifiers, and then it could be quite challenging, or obviously you will need to make a pre-made if you want to apply any of these modifiers. If you have any tips, make sure to drop them down below in the comments, as well as join the Discord. It's growing pretty good every single day. I think there's over 300 something odd members in there now. We just added a LFG channel to the Discord in the first Descendant, so there we have some people, running, doing runs and sharing runs and infiltration runs. We have people doing stuff all the time, so totally tune on in to the Discord, as well as the streams over at twitch.tv/Augiesaint. We are streaming pretty much every single day, and I would love to see you guys there. So that's going to be it. I hope you liked the video. If you did, please drop a like and sub to me. It helps me out so much, and I'll catch you beautiful people on the streams as well as in the next video. Augiesaint out.
Run free and dive into the sky. Hear the